gonna miss this quite a lot. It's been one of the few consistent things I could do in this county that's been enjoyable. And that's not even the funny part, man. That's just a true statement. No, have you been around this county? There's not a whole lot to really do. I mean, sure, you can travel a little, because if you drive like an hour in any direction, you'll get to an actual city, okay? We're an hour from the Lehigh Valley, an hour from Reading, from Harrisburg, like an hour and a half from Lancaster, and an hour from the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area. It's a lot like living in the center point of the world's most disappointing pentagram. Look, this place is incredibly rural, okay? One of the highlights of my high school experience, for goodness sakes, was a guest speaker who, for reference, Pottsville High is the largest school in the county by quite a bit. So when they bring in a guest speaker to talk to young adults about to enter the real world, you'd think they'd have expertise. This guy's expertise, by his own admission, he was once racist, then he was the only white instructor in an after-school program, so he stopped being racist. What, did you finish a side quest? There's usually a little more to this process here. But I can tell you one thing for a fact. He did not teach anybody, nor was he himself taught any public speaking, because he had the worst opening to a speech I've ever seen, aside from anyone who's ever run to be U.S. president. Here's how he starts off. He's like, some people call me a redneck. Some people call me a hick. Now, sadly, he did not follow this with, some people call me the space cowboy, because, that would have been clever. But no, there's not a whole lot to do in this county. One thing that my buddies and I tried to get together before was, back in 2023, we hosted a video game tournament at the Majestic Theater in downtown Pottsville, Super Smash Bros., the Nintendo game. I was pretty happy with that, because we haven't had an actual video game tournament in this county since pre-pandemic. And you wouldn't believe how big the competitive Smash Brothers scene is. I know people who are only college students right now. They can actually, they play it so extensively and so well with their friends. They can go toe-to-toe with the best players in the country, people who make tens of thousands a year just playing the game. And they do this by choosing player tags for themselves like Doink, Cozy Melon, Papa Zest, and Hefty Lefty. Hefty Lefty is a nickname you give to a guy on your high school football team, not a guy who runs Cloud in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, you should have seen it during the Smash 4 days. Back then, you saw so many clouds, it's like you were looking out the window. Yeah, so the Majestic was nice enough to let me do a tournament there in the past, and I guess this is a good opportunity to tell you all my friends and I are doing another. That's going to be Sunday, October 12th at the 23 Meadowbrook Center just outside of Schuylkill Haven. Because look, there's nothing really going on in this county for people to keep themselves entertained if they like stuff like that. And as thankful as I am that the Majestic was willing to help us do that, the venue there was really not built to host a video game tournament, okay? You have to do a lot of weird, awkward, heavy lifting to get the chairs and tables in place, especially on ramp settings. I had not seen the Majestic Theater board members spread their legs that wide since they offered to let Senator John Fetterman host a campaign event there. But on the subject of community theater, because I've done quite a bit of shows in the past, there are a lot of shows, like musicals, that you wouldn't think are musicals, because they're based on old movies that don't have any songs in them, okay? Heathers, like the 80s movie. Let's see, we had Legally Blonde. I know Spring Awakening didn't always have songs. Les Mis didn't always have songs. There were so many movie adaptations that skipped that. Legally Blonde was a weird one to learn that got adapted into being a musical, because if they're doing one musical based on an amateur lawyer movie, then we need another based on the real best amateur lawyer movie, and that's Joe Pesci's My Cousin Vinny.
Oh,
yeah. The only caveat to that, of course, is no matter where it's done or who the rest of the cast is, Joe Pesci has to play the lead every time, okay? If you do anything else, that's a disservice. But no, thank you for everything, Peps. Take care.